I lined up 20 smartphones on my desk to earn more XRP. It sounds crazy, right? But with what's about to happen this month, I might not be crazy at all, right? October is shaping up to be one of the most pivotal months for XRP in years, and trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. Okay, let me set the stage here, right? I'm an XRP holder, as you probably know. And if you are too, then buckle up, because we have two major decisions coming down in October that could change everything for this coin. One is the regulatory, one of course is structural, and together they could send shockwaves through the crypto world. In other words, this month could either make our XRP bags a whole lot heavier or teach us a hard lesson. And in the middle of all of that, here I am with a whole bunch of phones humming away on my desk. Why? Well, I'm going to get to that experiment in a bit, because it's all connected to how I'm bracing for what is next. And by the end of this video, you're going to see why I'm doing all of these kind of odd, and how it might, at least doing all these odd things, and how it all might give me a little bit more of an edge, or at least some kind of peace of mind, while everyone else is either celebrating or perhaps even panicking. Alright, so what's really happening in October that's such a big deal? Well, first up we have ETFs, those big institutional funds that you can buy on your stock market, right? Or at least on the stock market. Now, starting in October 18th, the US SEC might just give a final yes or a no on a wave of spot XRP ETF applications. There's no more delays, right? They've dragged their feet as long as they legally can, right? Then we're talking potentially 7 different XRP ETFs that are up for approval. Names like Grayscale, 21 Shares, Bitwise, Franklin Templeton, Wisdom Tree, CoinShares, and Canary Capital. Now, if one of those gets the green light, well, it could be huge. And get this, there's a good chance that the SEC approves one. They'll approve them all on the same day, right? Just like they did when a whole batch of Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs got cleared together. So, why does this matter? Because these ETFs would give everyday investors and big institutions a safe, regulated way to buy XRP. No more sketchy kind of workarounds or wondering which exchange to actually use. It becomes as easy as buying any stock. Now, that kind of easy access can create a flood of new money coming into XRP. Last time something similar happened, well, that was when Bitcoin ETFs got approved. Bitcoin's price shot up, to around $48,000 at the time, and it almost happened immediately, right? It did kind of dip back towards 38K a week later. Nothing goes as straight lines forever, right? But then that pullback was just history, right? Bitcoin soon soared to new highs over $120,000 in the following months. Right? So yes, the first reaction might be a spike and a dip, but the overall trajectory was still way up. Now, some people think that XRP could follow that very same script. There's even a Bloomberg analyst saying that an XRP ETF approval is essentially now a 100% done deal. Now, I don't know if I would go that far. Nothing is ever 100% in crypto, but hearing that from a Bloomberg guy definitely got my attention. Now, before I do move on here, here's a quick reality check. Until these decisions actually happen, all of this is just speculation. And speaking of speculation, here's an important note that if you're thinking of jumping into XRP or any cryptocurrency, you're going to need a reliable place to do it. Now, personally, I use a couple of exchanges, Blowfin and BitGet, right? I have affiliate links for both of these down in the description down below. So if you do use those links, sign up and trade through them. It does support the channel here at no extra cost to you. That's full disclosure. I do get a small kickback from the exchange for referring you. So if you do need a solid trading platform and you want to support the channel here, then feel free to check them out. Okay, no more shilling. Let's get back to the story. So October 18th is circled on my calendar in bright red, but that's not the only date that really matters here. Meanwhile, Ripple, this is the company behind XRP, has its own big play in motion. They've applied for a national bank charter in the United States, and the decision from the regulators is due by the end of October. So imagine Ripple becoming an actual federally kind of chartered bank. Sounds wild, right? Now, if that gets approved, Ripple could legally operate as a bank in the United States. That would give them all sorts of access to the plumbing of the financial system, potentially boosting their plans to launch an XRP-backed stablecoin RLUSD and integrate XRP more deeply into everyday finance in the United States. So we're looking at possibly 2 landmark wins for XRP and Ripple happening within weeks of each other. Now, in practical terms, one is regulatory, those ETFs, and the other one is structural, the bank charter. For a long time XRP believer, this is what kind of a one-two kind of punch that your dreams are made of. Naturally, the XRP community is going a bit nuts right now. My Discord has been blowing up with people speculating on price targets and what they're going to do if or when XRP finally breaks out. Here's a side note. If you do want to join the discussion, we do have a free educational Discord server. The link is also in the description down below, and you're more than welcome to hop on in. It's a great place to chat and to learn. And everywhere that I look, right, folks are throwing numbers around, right? And the hopium, I guess, is rather real. Now, I've seen posts like XRP to $10 soon, and even wilder ones, right? A crypto analyst named Kenny went on record saying based on his models, XRP should be around $22 to $50 once the first ETF launches. $22 to $50. Now, for context, XRP is around maybe like $3, just a little bit lower than that at the point of recording, give or take. So $22 would be roughly 7x from here. $50 would be something like a 17x. Another guy, Stephen McClurg from Canary Capital, thinks perhaps $5 billion could flow into XRP in the initial weeks of trading, pushing the price into the $20 to $30 range. Now that's a whole ton of optimism. People basically expect a tsunami of institutional money to wash all over XRP. And sure, if that happens, we might see some new XRP millionaires be minted. Now the data is pretty intriguing. According to the XRP rich list, only around about 35,300 accounts hold 94,000 XRP or more. Why that number? Because if XRP hits around $11, having 94,000 coins would make you a millionaire on paper. So if XRP did something crazy like say $50, hey, some people do believe that is possible, then even holding 20,000 XRP would make you a millionaire, or at least put you in the millionaires club. Now that thought alone has a lot of people daydreaming and refreshing their portfolios every 2 seconds. But let's pump the brakes for a second, because $50 XRP would mean the price climbs more than 17 times what it is now. Now, I'm not saying that it cannot happen, right? If any crypto that can surprise us, it's going to be XRP in my opinion. But we do have to acknowledge that that is a huge leap, right? Now, for perspective, after Ethereum got some ETF love, it still took over a year for a solid all-time high. So in crypto, sometimes patience is as important as the hype. So yes, I'm excited about these ETFs and the bank charter, but I'm also keeping my expectations in check. Now, it could be a buy the rumor, sell the news scenario where XRP pumps on the anticipation and then dumps if the reality doesn't actually live up to the mania. Or things could play out great, but just slower than maybe people want, and the impatient money might just bail a little bit earlier. Now, this might just shock you, but I'm not a financial advisor and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile and you could lose all of the money that you invest. You should always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. After all, your investments are entirely your responsibility and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. So yeah, no one really knows for sure what's going to happen in the next few weeks. Hearing all of this hype, I had a moment where I thought, all right, I can't just sit here twiddling my thumbs and staring at my XRP's price chart, right? Waiting for something to actually happen. That's a one-way ticket to crazy town. Instead, I decided to do something different, something productive, or at least something interesting, whether XRP moons or not. And that's where those 20 smartphones on my desk come into play. Right? I started looking into ways that I can get more involved with crypto and XRP in particular, right? Beyond just holding and hoping. I wanted to see some tangible activity, maybe even earn a little on the side. So I stumbled on this project called Unity. Now, I kept seeing this name pop up on Twitter and in the forums, so I did a bit more digging, and it turns out that Unity Nodes is a collaboration between a couple of projects that aims to build a decentralized wireless network or telecommunications network. In plain English, they let regular people like us use our smartphones to help check and expand mobile network coverage. And in exchange, we get to earn some crypto rewards for that service. Kind of like how you might run maybe a Helium miner or World Mobile nodes to support a network and get tokens. Or how early Bitcoin mining let you kind of support the network and earn BTC, except here, it's about phones and coverage and doing some verification checks, and the rewards can be more than just one kind of coin. And guess what one of those rewards options is? Yes, XRP. Now that immediately caught my attention. I found out that you can actually purchase Unity Node itself, which comes with 200 licenses, using XRP as well, which kind of felt perfect, using XRP to invest in something that actually pays me back in, well, XRP. So after a whole lot of thought, I took the leap. I spent some of my XRP stash to buy a Unity Node NFT, which came with 200 licenses. So think of those licenses like software keys that let you connect up to 200 devices, or smartphones in my case, to the Unity network. Now, I obviously don't have 200 phones just lying around. And I didn't suddenly want to go out and buy 200 either. I'm dedicated, but I'm not that crazy. But what I did do is manage to kind of scrape together 20 old smartphones and, set up a little bit of a test. Now, the app is not live just yet, hence there aren't 20 phones here at the moment, but they will be over here when that app is live, right? And it's going to be interesting to see how this kind of plays out over the next few months. So picture this, right? I have a mini phone farm then that's going to be set up on my desk. 20 phones will all be plugged in and will be running this Unity app. They're each going to be acting like a little kind of tiny cell node, maybe pinging nearby networks, checking the signal strength, contributing to this decentralized telecoms network. My room will have this soft glow probably from all the screens. It's going to look something like a sci-fi movie probably. And you know what? It's actually going to be earning me some crypto as we kind of do these video recordings and as I kind of explain what's going on to you guys watching back at home. Now, I can watch the Unity dashboard and I'm going to be able to see every phone online contributing, and I'm going to be able to see the reward balance slowly ticking up. Now, it's not going to be a fortune by any stretch of the imagination, but it is going to be passive income. And I'm not going to be buying a Lambo with it anytime soon, but it is going to be a steady drip of XRP. And hey, I might be able to scale it. I've got 200 licenses, right? I'm going to start with 20 phones and maybe they'll double to 40, then maybe 80, then 160, and you never know. May have to just expand and buy even more Unity nodes if it really does start panning out. Now, there's some other tokens too that I might dabble with outside of XRP. I might want some BTC, for example, for the long-term hold. And every day there's going to be a little bit more that just gets added to my stash here, completely passively. And it's going to be really interesting to see this experiment play out live. And it's going to feel pretty good, I imagine. Now, it's kind of like I'm mining, but instead of running power-hungry computers, I'm just going to be using smartphones that were otherwise just kind of dead paperweights, right? And I'm going to be helping this experimental network and getting rewarded for it. Now, I'm not telling you that this is to say Unity nodes is the next big thing, right? I'm not saying that. Or that you should drop everything and do exactly what I'm doing, right? No one knows how this project will actually pan out. Maybe it becomes a crucial part of the decentralized connectivity. Maybe it doesn't, right? But only time will tell. Now, I bought it up because it gave me something valuable. It gave me perspective here. While the rest of the world is obsessing over whether or not XRP will double or triple overnight, I'm here learning about how to participate in a decentralized telecoms communications network, and I get to basically earn crypto or XRP for that participation. That's a real use case that really does enable crypto. Now, it reminded me that this whole crypto game, it isn't just about the speculation, it's actually about the innovation and the community. Now, Unity is just one of those examples of people leveraging crypto technology to solve real-world problems. And in this case, it is creating a community-powered telecommunications network. And the fact that I, as an XRP holder, can directly take part in that using XRP and earning XRP makes me feel a whole lot more connected to the ecosystem versus just holding coins in a wallet and crossing my fingers. Also, let me be real, if these ETFs get approved and Ripple becomes a bank and XRP's price goes bonkers, well, I'm obviously going to be over the moon. I'll be dancing in the streets, figuratively speaking, but if things don't actually play out how we might expect them to, let's say the SEC throws a curveball or the bank charter gets delayed, or the price just doesn't react as much as maybe the optimists hoped, then I wouldn't be crushed, right? Disappointed, sure, but not defeated, right? Meanwhile, of course, I've been busy with all this other stuff, right? Growing my crypto knowledge, engaging with community in the Discord, and running this funky little Unity node experiment that actually pays me extra XRP in my pocket. Hey, maybe I'll be able to crack up to that 1% elite rich list club. Who knows, right? But in short, I'm not just waiting for the future, right? I'm kind of living in it already. Now, this whole experience has really kind of reframed how I approach crypto investing, right? It's so easy to get tunnel vision on price charts and forget the much bigger picture. Now, I've been there, at least obsessively checking over XRP's price every time that there's a new rumor or a tweet from a famous analyst, right? But at the end of the day, what gives a project like XRP its staying power isn't just the speculation, it's the utility and the people who believe in it. The fact that I can use XRP in a hands-on way to participate in something much bigger, whether it's helping secure a network or facilitating real-world transactions, that's where I see true value, right? Price will follow value eventually if the value is real. All right, let's bring this back to here and to now, because October could be absolutely historic for XRP. We might finally get those big institutional on-ramps via ETFs. We might see Ripple become a bank and blur the lines between crypto and traditional finance even more. And if those things happen nearly back to back, then I have no idea how insane the reaction could actually be. It would be something for the crypto world, or at least something that the crypto world has just never really seen before. So yeah, my gut says that XRP's price would blast off in that scenario. But even if it doesn't happen exactly like that, or not right away, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm here for the long haul. And if you're like me, the best approach is to hope for the best, but prepare for everything. Now, for me, preparing means educating myself, connecting with others. Again, hop into that Discord if you haven't done so already. We're literally discussing this stuff every day. And even experimenting with the new technologies like the Unity nodes. That way, no matter what happens, I'm growing my portfolio one way or another, either through market gains or through actually earning and learning. So, will I become a millionaire if XRP hits $11 or $50? Maybe, maybe not, right? I'm not holding 94,000 XRP for the record, and I'll tell you that much, right? But you know what? I'm okay with that because every single day I'm making some progress, adding a little bit more XRP, gaining a little bit more knowledge, and doing things in crypto that I never imagined I would normally do. Seriously, who would have thought that I'd be running a mini telecoms rig out of my own home, right? No matter what happens this month, I can already say that I've grown as an investor and as an enthusiast, and that's a win in my book. Now, if you're interested in earning XRP with Unity, you need to check out the link that's in the description down below and do your own research, right? I've done my own research, I've bought into one, and I'm going to be running an experiment here on the desk with 10, 20 phones, something like that. Now, the question is, are you going to do the research? Are you going to look into ways that you can passively earn XRP? You can let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed coming along on this little adventure with me today, then you can do me a favor by smashing the like button, hitting the subscribe button, sticking around because the story of XRP and my crypto journey Well, it's actually far from over. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.